Hello there guys, and welcome to this MyDvdReviews production. I am your host, James Johnson, and today I come to you with a Buffy the Vampire Slayer collaboration video with my YouTube friend Gareth Archer, also known as Plonker88. So first I'm going to show you my collection. Start off with the Buffy movie and giving you my thoughts on that and the show, and then I'll hand over back to Gareth and he'll give you his thoughts and his show you his collection as well. So first up we have the movie from 1992. Now the only decent part in this film for me is actually just the story, because it's written by Joss Whedon, who would later direct and write the television show. Now the only decent thing, as I just said, is the story, but the acting in it for me is actually quite terrible. You've got Rutger Hauer playing the Master in this movie, and you've also got Donald Sutherland playing the Watcher, and of course Kristy Swanson on the front there playing the lead role of Buffy. Now her acting in this movie is actually terrible. I actually preferred Sarah Michelle Gellar's in the later series, but it's an okay movie just for the story, and that's about it really. So if you enjoyed this film, I'd like to know what you think of it. But in my opinion is that the story's okay, but the acting's terrible. But this is the DVD version of it I got. So yeah, it's got some special features on it as well. Featurette, original theatrical trailer, 2 TV spots, fantasy and hip hop, scene access and interactive menus, and there's a quick look at the disc with the scene selection just there as well. But yeah, I just got it because I'm a completist when it comes to the DVD collecting of the TV show, so I thought I had to get the movie as well, and that is basically the only reason why I picked this up. So that's that one. And next up we'll go to my version of the complete first season of Buffy. Now first off, I had this collection free off a YouTuber, and it was from SGman182. It is the complete first season in a basic box set. I haven't got an episode guide, but it's got all the discs. So there we go. But yeah, I had this come with the Buffy unaired pilot, which is an okay unaired pilot, but it's not as good as the story of Welcome to the Hellmouth and The Harvest, which is a 2-parter story on this collection. But I gave the unaired pilot to my friend Gareth Archer, who will be appearing later on this video. But yeah, the season 1 episodes are all on here. All 12 season 1 episodes, as there was only 12 episodes for season 1. And my favourite all-time episode on this season would have to be one titled Nightmares, coming to the end of the collection, where Buffy's nightmares is to actually become a vampire. And part of her nightmare was also that the Master was able to rise as well. So that's my season 1 collection. It's quite bare bones, no episode guide, but at least it's still complete and in my collection as well. And up next we have a Amore box set of season 2, which has got the 3 normal DVD cases inside. Now, my favourite elements to this season is when Angel actually reverts to being Angelus with a moment of perfect happiness with Buffy. And so yeah, I'll just quickly show you the sets in this one. Here we have, sorry, this is going a bit backwards. This is discs 5 and 6, but here's a quick look of them. So yes, it's just bare bones normal cases, but yeah, I won't show you all these because it's just the normal cases with the discs inside. But yeah, that's season 2, and my favourite, as I said just now, my favourite elements to this show is when Angel goes bad. So that's my season 2 collection. Up next we have season 3. It's just like the season 2 collection with normal cases. but the picture there is exactly the same on the back. But yeah, my favourite episode in season 3, made a mistake there, is on disc 3, and it's called The Wish. It's my favourite episode because Cordelia makes a wish with a demon, who actually in later series you find out it's Anya, the vengeance demon, and I believe that this season is her first episode in that episode as well, which was called The Wish, and she grants Cordelia a wish of I think it's that Buffy never came to Sunnydale and the Master was still alive and everything like that, and Xander and Willow were vampires. And my favourite element to that episode is when the Master came back to it, because that's my favourite villain. And you know, you first see him in season 1, but I liked his return in season 3. So that's my favourite episode was The Wish in that season. And up next we have season 4. Now season 4, I have the following 4 seasons left. I have in the Bible books, and that is actually the same as Gareth Archer's, as you'll see later on in this video. But first up, with the first Bible book I have, is the complete 4th season. It's the same again, double-sided book, and it's like the books as your, and you've got the episode details there. Now my favourite episode in this season, there's a whole lot of episodes in here that I like, but it's actually called, it's episode 12 on disc 4, and it's called A New Man, and it's actually where Ethan Rayne comes into the show and actually does a spell to turn Giles into a demon. And there are some very funny elements to when Giles is a demon, and you know, just really enjoyed that. So yeah, that's my complete season 4 collection. And so up to season 5, I have quite a lot of favourite episodes in this one. All the episodes featuring Glory and Ben, you know, in this season was all fantastic, and the climax at the end of this season where Buffy dies and all that was all pretty cool. But my favourite episode in this season in total has to be the very first episode. I believe it's called Buffy versus Dracula. Yes, it is. And that episode features Dracula. I believe he hypnotises Xander and gets him to eat bugs and stuff. And Xander in this particular episode is absolutely hilarious, and that is one of the reasons why I love that episode. So that's my season 5 DVD collection. Again, the Bible book. And so up next we have season 6. I have had some problems with this one when I bought this one on eBay, but thankfully now this one is my rebought one, and all discs are intact, because back when I bought it the first time there was 2 disc 6s, so I had to send it back, have a refund, and buy it again. So this is my set that that all discs are intact, and it's, you know, brilliant now. And my favourite episode in this season has to be the musical. I believe it's called Once More with Feeling. I can just check that out for you. Yeah, it's disc 2, episode 7, Once More with Feeling. So just some really, you know, brilliant stuff about that episode. The songs that the cast sing as well. You know, just very, very cool stuff. So that's my season 6 collection, and just loved it very much, that one. And also we have the final season, again in the Bible book, the final one. Now, I don't really have a particular favourite episode in this one. I actually liked all episodes, because you had the first evil, which is when there was this first evil character thing called, and it could turn into different characters from past shows. Like it could turn into Glory, it could turn into the Master, and different characters from past shows, which is pretty cool. And there was also another like monstrous vampire in it called the Uber Vamp, or the Turok Han, I think. I can't be too sure about that, but it's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, there's I don't have an absolute favourite episode in season 7, but they're all pretty cool in this one. So that's the Bible book of that one. So that's all my collections and my thoughts of the episodes and what I think of the film. And now I'm going to hand over to Gareth, and he'll show you his collection and his thoughts on the show. And then I'll come back afterwards to give my final thoughts. So take it away, Gareth.
Hi there guys, and thank you very much to James. I would just like to preface this part of the video by saying thank you very much to James for inviting me to do this. It's a pleasure to be invited to do this. So as you just heard James speak about a couple of his favourite episodes of the Buffy anthology, that is all 7 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He also spoke about the 1992 movie, which was of course the sort of the testing waters. Sorry, that was Joss Whedon testing the waters for the concept that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And of course, the season proper came along later. So we're going to take a look at my particular collection. I have all of the collector's editions of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all the Bible bound editions of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So without further ado, let's crack on. So of course, with anything, we start with numero 1. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 1. This is only 12 episodes long, as it was a shorter season because of budget constraints and things like that, and it's very much apparent in the production values of the show. Basically season 2 kicks up way up a notch. You can tell they got a lot more money from season 2 almost. But anyway, this is season 1. That's the back. We're now going to take a look inside. This here tells you that it's a season guide. Excuse me, just going to take a swig of my tea. It says here that this is a season guide. This is a bit more than just a season guide. The reason why I say that is there's actually a book that you can get hold of that is a complete episode guide for all of Buffy, for all 7 seasons that is Buffy. And this is an excerpt of that book. The reason why I say that is because that book was produced after the Buffy the Vampire Slayer ran its course and was also out on DVD. The reason why I know this is because in this book it actually speaks about episodes right the way up to season 5. So don't read this book if you don't want spoilers, because there are some spoilers in this book that lead up to season 5. They're not major spoilers, they're just little trivia and bits and bobs. But it is a very good book to read if you are a Buffy fan. If you're just a casual Buffy fan, it's also a pretty good read because you can sort of get to know some of the idiosyncrasies of Buffy, and it's a really good compendium. As I said, this is actually an excerpt from a larger book that is a episode guide for all of the episodes of Buffy. This is the season 1 box set, and you've seen this before, but this folds out like a Christiana cross. Let's see if I can get this in frame. I do have the camera in a different angle to try and get all of this in its glory. We have a nice cast shot there. And there we go. I don't know if that's in frame, I hope it is. So there we go. And you have an episode list going down there. Now I will say something. It is a very nice packaging, but it's a pain in the arse. All I'll say is I'm glad that season 1 is only 12 episodes, because towards the end this does get a bit of a pain in the arse. But there are episode guide and episode listings on each of the flaps, as it were. So you got, you know, Welcome to Hellmouth, This 2, Never Kill a Boy on the First Date, and that kind of stuff. I actually thoroughly enjoyed season 1. There are some people who say that season 1 is not, you know, the best season, but I enjoyed it for a number of reasons. So there you go. Now we're on to the, don't know where to put this. Now we're on to the Bible packaging. Now I won't go through all of these packagings in their entirety because they're pretty much the same, just different colours and different cast pictures. And plus, these are so tightly bound that I can't really open it up enough to get the full, you know, full glory of it. Plus, I don't want to break my spine of these books, of these packaging. But as you can see, these are really, really nice packagings. So that's the front, that's the back. This is a hard cardboard sleeve, very nice. And as you see, these are the Bible bound or book bound editions of these seasons. And as you can see, this is embossed and rather nice. These are, as I have said before, these are bound by simple thumb screws, or rather coin screws. You can undo these with a coin, and you can unbind these if you wish to. The reason why I say this is because some people have unbound them and put them inside a binder, and that sort of solves the problem with them being so hard bound. There you go, the front, that's the back. And basically what you get is you get a nice car shot at the front, and you get a certain amount of pages that are the episode guide. So you've got the episode guide in there, and so on and so forth. And of course you then get the discs. Excuse me, I'm about to say something, I'm sort of pacing myself. So there you go, and just to show you, we do have, of course, episode guides of that particular disc, and we do have chapter listings for the DVDs. And also, in case you're wondering, just behind the disc is, of course, I don't mean of course, but is a bit of tissue paper. It's a bit more than just tissue paper, but that's actually a very good addition, because some people don't like these cardboard type packaging because they fear that it will scratch the disc. That little bit of tissue paper protects the back of the disc quite nicely. One thing I will say about the set, a couple of things about these sets, is they do feature a lot of pictures by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Now I do understand the series is called Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Sarah Michelle Gellar plays Buffy, but it would have been nice to have a few more pictures of the other cast members than just her. Having said that, I do understand why they've done it. The other thing I would say about the set, if you do buy it, there are fakes around, so be warned. However, when I first got these sets rather, some of the discs looked a bit faded to me. I don't know if it's because of the age of the set, but they all seem to check out and they all seem to be kosher, and they all seem to match up with other people on YouTube. So just do your research and make sure everything checks out. So that was season 2. Season 3 is blue and purple. So there we go. Quick look inside. I believe I'm up to season 3. Am I up to season 3? I believe so. We've got a nice shot of Buffy and Angel there, and as you just heard, cracking parts of the spine here. It also shows you on the back a little diagram how the discs should go in and shouldn't go in. So there you go. As I said, I'm not going to show you off in their full glory because they're pretty much the same as each other. So now we've got season 4. So that's the front. We get a nice car shot there, and again, this is season 4, so we're now getting well into the show. So there we go. Again, I can't really show you too much from this angle. So from now on, I'll just simply show you the outside. So we've got season 5. Quick look inside, why not, at the cast shot. So here you've probably got the fullest cast shot you're ever going to have. Got it off of the extended characters. And of course, season 5 was where Buffy sort of finished. It changed hands. It was no longer 20th Century Fox, I believe. Or something like that. It changed hands, changed production company. And things changed quite a lot. Basically, at this point, fans campaigned to get the show brought back. Season 5 was actually supposed to be the end of Buffy. Joss Whedon envisioned Buffy finishing at season 5. Hence the ending of Sacrifice. That was supposed to be the end of Buffy. But no, fans wanted more, so along came seasons 6 and 7. People do say season 6 and 7 are the weakest seasons. However, they are still pretty good seasons. So that's season 6. Some people say they're a bit iffy in places and a bit strange in places. Trying to get that back in there. Not succeeding. There we go. And finally, but no means least, we have season 7 and the final DVD season of Buffy. And there is a reason why I say that. So there we go. And so on and so forth. And have a pretty good cast shot there. So, what do I mean by the last DVD season? I don't know if many people know this, but Buffy now exists in comic format. Buffy season 8 and I do believe season 9 is actually out in Dark Horse Comics. Dark Horse Comics are now taking over production, and I do believe Joss Whedon is actually writing the screenplay and the story and everything behind those stories, and they are canon. They are considered canon. At some point, I do wish to get hold of them. At some point, Joss Whedon has said they will be in trade paperback form, so we better get hold of them in a cheaper way. They are canon, so I do wish to get hold of them at some point, and they do continue the story. And from what I understand, also Joss Whedon is allowed a lot more creative freedom with the comics than he did have with the show. Joss Whedon and 20th Century Fox have a bit of a history. So, because of that, people have said they're actually pretty damn good. So I do wish to get hold of those at some point. But that's it for my particular collection of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I do have some additional paraphernalia such as magazines and some discs that James has sent me, and I thank you very much for those, James. But that's it now for my part. I'll now hand back over to James, and I bid you all farewell, and please take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Back over to James.
Hello there guys, hope you enjoyed that segment there with Gareth on his Buffy collection. And so that's almost it from me and Gareth now. So if you enjoyed this collaboration on Buffy, perhaps one day in future me and Gareth would do a collaboration on the spin-off show of Angel, which I think would be really cool as well. So from me and Gareth to you, this is it. So goodbye and take care.